Please.
Minister, I want to read you an email that I received recently. In the email, the person who contacted me says, and I quote, "I'm 36 years old, working in a full-time job as an IT professional for a global multinational. I have savings and continue to put as much of my salary away as I can afford. Although I earn above the median income and have a stable job, I am forced to share a house with 5 other full-time working professionals aged from late 20s to early 40s. Our rental house is owned by a global hedge fund. For each of us, the prospect of home ownership or renting a property of our own is a laughable proposition. I'll be close to 50 by the time I've got enough of a deposit to afford a mortgage. This government and every government of my adult lifetime have let me down. Minister, why is it that this government is so determined to prioritise the interests of investment funds over those of people who want to own a home? Last year, when it was revealed that an investment fund was purchasing 135 out of 170 homes at Mullen Park in Maynooth, the government said it was an isolated incident and was unacceptable. Minister, what do you have to say to the revelations in the Business Post this week that funds snapped up more than 350 houses in the past year? That is nearly 3 times the number of homes that were going to be sold in Mullen Park. We told you that a 10% stamp duty rate would not be a sufficient deterrent, but you refused to listen. You again refused to listen when we raised concerns in February about the activity of a fund called Orange Capital Partners. At the time, the Irish Independent reported that the fund was buying up 300 homes in Dublin, including a number of homes in Portmarnock in your own constituency. The fund didn't care how much it paid for these homes. To be precise, it said, it's irrelevant what we pay for them. The rental market in Ireland is so lucrative that funds know they are guaranteed big profits regardless of what they pay. Minister, how are first-time buyers and families supposed to compete with funds with bottomless pockets? Is it any wonder then that the number of first-time buyers in Dublin has decreased by 30% in the past 5 years? Or that Irish people are now almost 40 years old before they can buy their first home? Under this government, more and more people are being locked out of home ownership. Minister, my question is, will you now finally listen and act decisively to ban investment funds from buying bulk homes, and will you include apartments in that ban?
Minister.
Thank you, Deputy O'Callaghan. And firstly, to say that what you refer to as a revelation in the Sunday Business Post was no such thing. I brought a memo to Cabinet 3 weeks ago detailing the measures that we brought forward over a year ago to protect first-time buyers against bulk purchases. What you've neglected to say in that period of time, that planning permissions have been granted for over 16,000 homes that have the condition in it that they cannot be sold on a bulk basis. And that's a fact, and that is in just the space of 1 year. Now, in relation to the revelation that you refer to, in 351 homes, and Mullen Park, as you know, wasn't sold to investor funds, they were sold for individual sale. That's, again, something that you've neglected to say. There were 47,000 house sales over the last 12 months, 351 of which was to investment funds, which is about 0.7% of the overall sale. And the measures I have taken, this government have taken, relate to planning going forward as well. And that is working. We've levelled the playing pitch for first-time buyers. And actually, first-time buyers now are up to the highest level on new mortgages that they've been since 2007. Now, I support home ownership, and I want the person who's emailed you to be able to own their own home. That's why we've supported the Help to Buy grant, which you oppose, at a €30,000 in tax rebate that helps people get their deposit together. And I wonder, in your response to the person who emailed you, will you tell them that? Will you also tell them that the Social Democrats actually were one of the few parties to oppose the Affordable Housing Act? So that opposes cost rental, which is delivering right now hundreds of tenancies for people on a 40-year minimum basis secure tenure, 50% below the market rent, which allows for the direct build of affordable purchase homes, which in your own county of Fingal, you oppose 253 of those to be built in Ballinamastone in North County Dublin. And furthermore, You're on record as opposing probably the most significant measure that will be taken, which is the First Home Shared Equity Scheme, which will launch in July, which is going to help the person who emailed you to bridge the gap between the finance they have and the finance they need by the state taking an equity, not by a second mortgage as you claimed last year when we brought it forward. So all the measures we bring forward, the €4 billion per annum that we're bringing forward under Housing for All, because this government has a housing plan that's published and that's financed, which is directly, I would say, if one compares the Social Democrats and your lack of housing policies and your lack of finance behind any of the measures you want to bring forward, we're clear in what we want to do. And we're seeing now commencement up to the highest level since 2007, over 30,000 commencements in the 12 months to May, the highest quarter commencements and indeed completions, because what we want to do is see people and help people own their own homes. So the measures we've brought forward are targeted to do that, and to build more social homes than we've ever done before. And we're targeting 9,000 new build social homes this year through Housing for All as part of the 90,000 that we will deliver between now and 2030.
Thank you, Minister. Deputy O'Callaghan.
Firstly, just to say, I think it's a pity that you spent most of your time making attacks. People don't want to hear attacks back and forth here. They want us discussing solutions. Now, just a couple of facts for you. 82% of planning permissions in Dublin City in 2020 were for build-to-rent schemes. They are exclusively bought by investment funds, so there's no individual purchase in that. There was more than €100 million spent last year by investment funds buying up houses. Last year there wasn't a single affordable purchase home delivered by the government, and there was only 65 cost rental homes. And the reality is, in terms of home ownership, is that the level of home ownership continued to fall last year. There was less than 6,000 individual homes, new built homes, available for individuals to buy, and that was falling and has fallen on previous years. So I just want to ask you again, Minister, very directly on this. Will you act now decisively to ban investment funds from buying up homes, and will you include apartments in that ban?
I said, Deputy O'Callaghan, I wasn't trying to score any political points. I was just stating the facts of your position as well, and the facts of what we're bringing forward as a government on affordability measures, because we support home ownership and we support social housing and social housing delivery. And we have a plan that's fully funded on a multi-annual basis to do that, and that plan is starting to take hold now. There's no question we're not going to turn this around in a year or 2 years. But it is starting to take hold, and we're seeing direct build affordable homes in your own county, in Fingal, in Cork, right across the country, hundreds of which will be delivered this year, hundreds more cost rental homes, and the First Home Shared Equity Scheme, which will be a very significant measure to help those who need that assistance by the state bridging the affordability gap for them. Now, what I would say to you is the planning measures that we've brought forward, the measures I brought forward are working, because I've just given you the facts. 16,000 new planning permissions granted, where there is a condition in it that they cannot be sold to funds. And let's be realistic when you talk about this revelation. 0.7%, Deputy O'Callaghan, of homes that were sold over the last 12 months. 0.7%.
Thank you, Minister.
That's what we're talking about. So let's not try to make an issue that doesn't exist there. But we support home ownership, and we need supply across all, both rental, social, affordable and private. And that's what we're determined to do.
Thank you very much.